Every night at exactly 10:17 p.m., the same teenage boy sat alone at bus stop 14. Winter, rain, snow, it didn't matter. He always came. Most people assumed he was waiting for someone, but he never got on a bus. The old bus stop stood beside a quiet street in a small American town outside Chicago. The boy usually wore the same gray hoodie and old sneakers, headphones in, backpack beside him, eyes fixed on the road. Cars passed him every night. Nobody really noticed him, except one person, an elderly bus driver named Frank. Frank had driven the Route 22 night bus for nearly 31 years, and for almost 2 months now, he had seen the same boy sitting there, alone, every single night. At first, Frank ignored it, but eventually, curiosity got the better of him, because no teenager waits at a bus stop every night for no reason, especially not in freezing weather, and especially not without ever taking the bus. One snowy evening, Frank finally opened the bus doors. "You getting on tonight, kid?" The boy looked up slightly, then shook his head. "No, sir." Frank frowned. "You've been sitting here every night." The boy forced a small smile. "I know." Frank waited for more, but the boy stayed quiet. The light turned green. Cars moved behind the bus. Frank sighed and drove away, but something about the boy stayed in his mind all night. The next evening, the boy returned again. 10:17 p.m., same hoodie, same bench, same silence. This time Frank parked the bus for a little longer. "You got parents waiting for you somewhere?" The boy hesitated, then quietly answered, "Not anymore." Frank's expression changed instantly, but before he could ask another question, the boy stood up. "Sorry, sir, should go." And just like that, he walked away into the snow. The following week, a heavy snowstorm hit town. Most streets became nearly empty. Frank almost expected the boy not to come, but at exactly 10:17 p.m., there he was again, shivering beneath the weak bus stop light. This time Frank parked the bus completely. He grabbed 2 hot chocolates from the gas station nearby and walked over. "You're gonna freeze out here, kid." The boy accepted the drink quietly. For a few seconds, neither of them spoke. Then finally, Frank asked softly, "Who are you waiting for?" The boy stared at the road, and for the first time, his eyes began to water. "My dad." Frank stayed silent. The boy swallowed hard. He used to come home on the 10:20 bus every night after work. Frank felt his chest tighten. The boy continued, 3 months ago, he died in a construction accident." The world suddenly felt quieter. Even the snow seemed to stop falling. But every night, the boy whispered, "I still come here." Frank didn't know what to say. The boy looked embarrassed. "Now, I know it sounds stupid." "No," Frank said immediately. "It doesn't." The boy stared down at the hot chocolate, shaking in his hands. His voice cracked. "I just miss him." Over the next few weeks, Frank slowly got to know the boy. His name was Ethan. He was 16 years old. After his father died, everything changed. His mother started working double shifts at a hospital. Bills piled up. The house became quieter. Dinner conversations disappeared, and Ethan stopped talking to people. School felt pointless. Friends stopped calling. Even basketball, the thing he once loved most, no longer mattered. But every night, he still came to bus stop 14, because somehow, it felt like the last place his father still existed. One night, Frank finally asked, "What was your dad like?" For the first time in weeks, Ethan smiled. "He talked too much." Frank laughed softly. "He sounds like my kind of person." Ethan nodded. "He used to tell me something every night after work." "What?" Ethan stared at the snowy road. "He always said, no matter how hard life gets, just keep showing up." Frank looked away for a moment, because suddenly, he understood why Ethan kept coming back. Spring arrived months later. The snow melted. The nights became warmer. And one evening, Frank noticed something different. 10:17 p.m. came, but bus stop 14 was empty. Frank felt strangely worried. Then suddenly, a voice called out behind him, "Hey, Frank." Frank turned around, and there stood Ethan. Except this time, no hoodie, no sadness in his eyes. Just a clean school jacket and a nervous smile. "I made the basketball team," Ethan said quietly. Frank's face lit up. "That's great, kid," Ethan nodded. "And my grades got better too." Frank smiled proudly. Then Ethan reached into his backpack and pulled out something folded carefully. It was a handwritten letter. "My dad wrote this before he died," Ethan explained. Frank unfolded the paper slowly. The final line read, "Ethan, life is going to break your heart sometimes. But promise me something. Keep showing up." Frank looked up. Ethan's eyes were filled with tears. "But I think," Ethan whispered, "I'm finally ready to stop waiting at the bus stop." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Frank placed a hand gently on the boy's shoulder, and together, they watched the empty road one last time. Sometimes healing doesn't happen all at once. Sometimes, it begins the moment we decide to keep moving forward, even after the people we love are gone.